Coming up on Sports Weekly, we've got college basketball highlights as SBVC went to the Elite Eight to take on San Francisco City College. Plus, Cal State San Bernardino in the NCAA Division II tournament, and they took on Cal State San Marcos in the West Region semifinals. We got those highlights as well. Plus, Cajon track and field star and football star Jaquan Smith with a big day at the Saddle Up Invitational at Vista Murrieta High School. Plus, we got some baseball action as well. We'll check in with Aquinas head coach Mike Carpentier, his team coming up with some big games, and Arroyo Valley head coach Dennis Dufour. We'll go one-on-one with him as his Hawks are poised to make a run at a Skyline League championship. All that and more on this edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG, and it starts right now. And what is up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Weekly on IEMG. I am your host, Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in each and every week. And before we get to the highlights, make sure you subscribe to the IE Media Group YouTube channel. So we're leading things off in this segment. This was the big story, was our local college basketball teams in the hunt for championships, whether at the state level or maybe even a national title. And we start with the San Bernardino Valley College men's basketball team, the Wolverines, going back to the Elite Eight for the second year in a row at West Hills College in Lemoore, and this time hoping for a different result. The Wolverines taking on San Francisco City College, the Rams in the Elite Eight. Obviously, if you win, you advance to the next round. So let's take you up there to West Hills College, San Francisco City, and SBVC. The one major difference from last year is that Dominique Daniels was in uniform for SBVC. He missed last year's Elite Eight because of an injury. And Daniels recently named the SoCal MVP after leading the state in scoring. And he had a big day against San Francisco City as well. Let's get to the highlights. First half, Sebastian Mendoza buries the three. He's been a big addition to the Wolverines this year, the San Jose State transfer from Hillcrest High School. The Rams would take a 28-17 lead on this play. Tajon Sawyer on the putback. San Francisco City trying to build a lead on SBVC. Then it's going to be Mendoza again. This time the drive and the dish. He's going to find Derek Nettles from Rancho Verde High School for the SBVC bucket. San Francisco City would answer. This time it's Jameer Thomas. He cans the three ball from the wing. Thomas led San Francisco City with 15 points. Later, the Wolverines pushing the ball up the floor. Nice passing here by SBVC. It ends up in the hands of Mendoza for two more. Right there, he finished with 14 points in the game. But every time SBVC tried to close the gap, the Rams had an answer. Thomas from the outside sinks another tray for the Rams, and SBVC, they would battle until the very end. Their star Dominique Daniels would lead all scorers with 27 points. Mendoza had a great game as well, but they just could not get things going. Here it is, a three from the Rams at that point, and Daniels had, again, 27. Here's two with a little leaner end from the elbow, but it was just enough. Thomas coming up with another basket. E.J. Neal coming up with a three for San Francisco City. They go on to win by a final score of 91-76. The Wolverines now finish the year 27-4 overall. But remember, they did win the Inland Empire Athletic Conference title, and they went a perfect 16-0 in conference play. So congrats to Coach Brewer and the Wolverines on another great season. A major accomplishment just to get back to the Elite Eight, but they took on the number one team from the northern side of California in San Francisco City. Good battle, but the Wolverines come up short. All right, so that's SBVC. Now let's transition to Cal State San Bernardino and your CC2A champions advancing to the West Region. That is the NCAA tournament for Division II, and the Coyotes making it to the semifinal round, taking on Cal State San Marcos, their conference foe, who they would see again in the semifinals for the West Region. Before we get to the highlights, just know that we are recording and publishing this show before the Coyotes play in the championship game. They will take on Point Loma Nazarene, the number 1 seed in the West region, and we'll have those highlights on the next edition of Sports Weekly. So until then, let's check out the West Region semifinals. As we alluded to, the Yotes taking on Cal State San Marcos again, and 29 wins is a program record this season for Cal State and head coach Andy Newman. And here we go to the highlights here, and they played big time in the second half. Yotes were up 38-30, and just tenacity on the offensive glass. Mahmoud Fofana with the basket there. San Marcos would battle back to make it a 4-point game. Brandon Napper buries the deep three, 18 points to lead the Coyotes. Next trip down the floor, Darius Mickens connects on 2 of his 8 points in the ball game. The lead would grow to double digits for Cal State when Eddie Davis runs the floor, and he's going to throw down the big-time dunk for the Coyotes. And it was 49-38. The Yotes feeling it from the outside as well. Kai-J Yee Stevens, the big three for Cal State San Bernardino. And by the time we reached the final minute of the game, it was close again. Cal State San Marcos trailing by just 2 when Eddie Davis gets the putback, 61-57 for the Yotes. And that would be a very big basket right there by Eddie Davis. Less than a minute to play. San Marcos once again makes it a 1-possession game after this basket for the Cougars, but Cal State would hold them off in the end. Coming up on the Coyotes' possession, it'll be Dontrell Schuler gets a huge bucket for Cal State to seal the win. 67-61 the final score as CSUSB advances to the NCAA Division II Sweet 16. So that round is the West Region Finals, and again, they will take on the number 1 seed out west, Point Loma Nazarene. We'll have highlights and interviews of that game on the next Sports Weekly. But first things first, let's hear from the Yotes after that big win against Cal State San Marcos to punch their ticket to the West Region Finals.
It's great. I feel like I'm along for a really fun ride with these guys, and they're taking me along, and we're going to ride it all the way. So I just very fortunate to have recruited and a really talented, great group to coach, great group to be around, and to watch them play has been super fun. And now we're in March, and you know, that's what it is. You know, I'm watching these guys play together, make plays for each other, defend, and just do all the things that we've worked on since August, and to see it come to fruition. And then, like you said, those are great milestones. And I'm really proud of these guys, really proud of this group. And again, just super happy to have a really great seat for it. I'm right there on the floor. I got floor seats for this thing. I get to walk around and stuff. And so makes for a really fun March. Yeah, it was a fun game. You know, in March, every game is going to be like that. 1-possession game down to the wire, and you know, guys who make plays at the end are going to do it, and these guys did it. I mean, it's really fun coaching groups of guys that aren't afraid to make that play. And like Dontrell making that baseline penetration layup at the end of the game with 30 seconds left, such a huge play for us. Brandon's 3 come out like it. You know, it makes coaching a lot of fun, being around guys who can play like this. So I'm happy to be riding the wave of these guys for sure. So it's been fun.
Oh, it's very difficult. I mean, we're getting tired of playing them, but they're competitive. And I talked to Jason McCain and Greg Nunn. I mean, I love those guys, and those guys are very, very competitive, and they're very good. So I give props to them and everything, and that coach and everything. So, like I said, we just play harder and on the defensive end, and the discipline team wins.
Yeah, and best of luck to the Yotes against number 1 Point Loma Nazarene in the West Region. If they win that round, which is the round of the Sweet 16 for Division II, they will advance to the Division II Elite 8. We'll give you an update next week on Sports Weekly. But on this episode, when we come back, we got to tell you about Cajon's Jaquan Smith just tearing up the track at the Saddle Up Invitational at Vista Murrieta. And we're going to check in with Aquinas head baseball coach Mike Carpentier as the Falcons get ready for a county clash game this Saturday night at San Manuel Stadium. We'll be right back here on Sports Weekly on IEMG.